everyone, welcome. I'm Robert, and this is another episode of The Culling. Today, I'm gonna discuss Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea and why I'm letting it go. So, this is a 4X game, and it has very strong Warcraft 3 vibes. And even though it's anything but a Warcraft 3 board game in name, really. So it's obviously very heavily inspired by that, and that's what attracted me to it. Also, I heard that it had a pretty decent solo mode, and there's not a whole lot of 4X board games that are soloable. It's a very, very difficult thing to pull off. My favorites so far in that genre have been this, Scythe, and Space Empires 4X. So I tried this before any of the other two that I mentioned, and I do like it. It's pretty decent. It has a nice solo mode. One thing that I'm not a fan of is, well, even though this is like a bit of a nitpick, but even though this is basically a Warcraft 3 game in everything but name, they did not include the undead faction here. So you got your orcs, humans, elves, right? That's like three-quarters of the Warcraft 3 factions, and then dwarves. Really, dwarves. That's what they included. So if you want to get the undead faction, you have to buy an expansion. So there's already a pretty big box as is, and as much as I wanted that undead expansion, I wasn't gonna spend the money and storage on another giant box just for the one faction that I wanted. So that always rubbed me the wrong way, to be honest. But I did play this a few times, and it left a really good impression on me at the time. Now, what happened was I later tried Scythe, and in retrospect, I think that this game, because this one came after, this game definitely I think had some inspiration from Scythe, but they're different enough to stand on their own individually if you wanted to own both. But honestly, if I wanted to scratch this itch, I would just rather play Scythe. And another issue that I have with this game is how much of a table hog it is. It is gigantic. It barely fits on my table. But one thing that kept it in my collection also for a while is because I really, really wanted to play this multiplayer at some point. I think this sounds like an epic multiplayer game, but you have to have the right group for that, and I just never found the right group for this. I did enjoy it solo, and you can even run it with multiple automa if you want it. It's very impressive. It's pretty good, but yeah, I would after playing Scythe, I really don't have much of a reason to return to this. Alright, and a little bonus, I wanted to show the storage solution that I came up with for this. So because of the flying units in this game, there's this little clear plastic bases that are pretty delicate, and there's tons of little buildings that you have to put together that are made of cardboard. So this definitely was a bit of a complex storage solution to come up with, so I had to puzzle with a few different things. So I added this piece of foam here because I want to make sure, you'll see what's underneath in a second. I wanted to make sure that it didn't move around. I wanted to secure it in place. I also added this in the corner. Here's where the mini-sized cards are stored. So I added this box here to make sure that also so next to with the foam, you also have this corner secured in there. Okay, all right. So you got the buildings, you got the tokens. I just used a little mint box for this. All right, and then so you got the board, rule book, and whatnot. Okay, and then here you have the board. Let me remove this. Okay, let me put this over here. All right. I made sure to keep this lid that came originally. With the box. Okay. So I'm gonna remove it. And what I did was I got these drawer organizers. Okay. So I found these that are exactly the same size of the box. and I was able to fit those factions there. Now I did have to buy a couple of smaller ones because I didn't want to throw the clear bases that I was mentioning earlier. So let me show you here. All right, so if you remove this, you have these clear bases, right? So these are very delicate. So I added some silicone glue to secure them a bit more, and then I just stack them in a weave pattern, which I'm not gonna do right now because I'm gonna mess it up. So if you put them in a little weave pattern, they fit back in there. And what I do is I just put this here like this, and there you go. Okay, and then you just slide it there at the end, and then that's how you can fit all the factions, all the base game factions in the base box. But yeah, so that's the solution that I came up with. This drawer containers worked out really well. But yeah, so that's my storage solution for Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.